Hi, this is Mary Jones with Carolyn's Date Life. Okay, so Carolyn Phillips and I started this. The objective is very simply to find her a man. Well, we haven't found her a man yet, so we're trying some new things. And tonight is our first Skype interview with Rossi Morreale. Now, Rossi is the host of ABC's Dating in the Dark. He's hosted many national TV shows. He was also, a couple years ago, one of People magazine's most sexiest men alive, and he has agreed to offer his male perspective on dating to Carolyn's Date Life.
So tonight is my first night meeting through Skype with Rossi from Dating in the Dark, and I feel very privileged to get the male perspective because I have a lot of great friends, a lot of girlfriends that are helping me out, but I think that maybe having a male perspective is going to be a good thing for us. So, hey Rossi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Great. I hope you can help me out a little bit here.
I'm going to do my best. A male perspective, I can say, is always good because a bunch of girls trying to figure out like what a guy's thinking is just like a bunch of guys trying to figure out what a girl's thinking.
That's a good point. Yes. Where do you think I might want to start with some of this?
Well, here, I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I think this is very important, especially to guys, because, you know, unfortunately, the time has come and somewhat gone where the girl is to sit around and wait for the guy to come make the move, because there are so many strong women out there and so many guys that are now intimidated, and they have a fear of rejection just like women do, and they are scared to make that first approach. So I'm curious, if you're out and about, whether it's at the grocery store or you are out at a club or out at dinner or wherever it may be, what do you do to let a guy know that you may be interested in him?
Yeah, well, you make a really good point because I think times have changed, and because I've never been married and I've been single for quite a while, and I think the rules are definitely changing as to it being appropriate and okay for a woman to go up and talk to a guy. I think I'm a little bit stuck in the old-fashioned where that I feel like a guy should come up and approach me. So I think that's the way I do it, and I'm not sure if it's obviously not working for me at this point because I'm busy working all day long. I'm not meeting a lot of people, and then when I'm out, I've seen a couple of cute guys, and I go, oh, I'd really like to maybe meet him, but he's not making the approach to me either. So kind of two ships passing in the night.
Well, it is two ships passing, but what it also is two. And excuse the comparison, but it's somewhat, it's two kids in the playground, kind of like, oh, she's jumping rope, I'll just keep playing basketball, and maybe if she comes and plays basketball, like, then I'll talk to her, or, oh, if she was over here, if he would come jump rope, like, then I can, well, the fact is, you're both probably interested, and one person just has to make the move. I didn't necessarily make the move, I did not make the first move on my wife, but I was definitely interested. But it was like I didn't know.
So what did she do that caught your eye that was appropriate?
Well, she is very outgoing, and she just. I remember when we were shooting the show, Can You Duet, when she was the contestant, she would just come and she'd be like, hey Ross, how you doing? And I would be like, oh, good, because I didn't know if I wanted to bother contestants or they might be working on songs, and I was just kind of this entity that was kind of there sometimes and not there sometimes. So I didn't really know my role, but she just opened up conversation.
Right.
Now at the time, I never knew if she was interested in me or not. Well down the road, I found out she was.
Okay, so in a way, is that she kind of opened the conversation, so it wasn't intimidating and it wasn't forward. So it was still there was still a mystery in your mind.
Right, but she broke down that original conversation, that communication barrier. Now, I essentially made the first move to make it romantic, but she established contact. And that's what I'm saying. You don't have to go up to a guy and like, hey, Tiger. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can just be like, hey, how you doing? And if he's like, oh, I'm good, how are you? And the communication opens up, you'll know immediately if he's interested. Now, he can still make the first move as far as asking you out on a date, ask me to coffee, something like that. So you're still essentially getting what you want, which is that guy coming after you. But all you've done is open up those lines of communication.
Okay.
It's just like if a guy walks up to you and he's like, hey, how you doing? You're like, Well,
yeah.
shut down those lines of communication where, you're just opening that up to say, hey, it's okay to talk to me. And it might just be, he might just be like, how you doing? You having a good night? Yeah, great night. Okay, well, I'm gonna go be with friends. Take care. And you're like, all right, see ya. So it's no harm, no foul. You don't have to necessarily ask him out, but you can just let him know, like, hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna reject you. I'm just a normal person. You know.
Yeah, because I think, I've actually talked to a lot of guys that have either seen throughout the years, on and off, that eventually at one point have said, I was always interested in asking you out, but they never did. So there must be something that I could do a little differently, and maybe that's just be a little bit more friendly or a little bit more open to starting a conversation.